Marc. Hello again, and welcome to the Comics Online podcast, season 15, episode 33.
And for the second time, episode 33.
Right?
Where does the time go, Kevin? Where does the time go?
Will you sing that for me?
No, I absolutely will not.
33 and a third, just a little bit, later tonight. Well, this is the 1 out of 3. This is 33 and a third. This is 33, 1 out of 3 parts. This is part 1 of the podcast here. And in part 1, of course, it's really not as much the Comics Online podcast, but it is really Troy's show. It's the Flashback Weekly Top 5 Comics.
And not only that, but I'm also going to talk a little bit. I've got some things out here, a little more than +1.
I'm Kevin. But, that's Troy.
Yes.
Forgot that part.
Oh, did we?
Yeah, Troy David.
And Kevin Gaussoin.
Yeah.
Yeah. You think people don't know us by now?
Yeah, but you know what? It was Stan Lee who said, or probably quoted someone else, that every issue is somebody's first issue.
Yeah. Jim Shooter said the same words.
Yeah?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
he espoused that philosophy.
He is tall.
Yes, he is. Big Jim Shooter. And he deserves our respect.
Yes, because he also started that other comic book company that Troy is a fan of.
Valiant Entertainment.
Oh, do you have any Valiant in your stack this week, Troy?
I don't,
If
actually.
If not, what's wrong with you?
Well, nothing, but this is not my time to talk about Valiant. This is actually my time to throw some shine on DC Comics. And I'm doing that for a couple of reasons, not least of which DC is up to the halfway point now, a little bit past the halfway point of Convergence. We've started seeing the second issues come out of this series. Issue number 6 is out now of the 8-issue series, so we are actually past the halfway point there. However, people have been asking me, and they continue to ask me, Convergence, what's this all about? What's with all these old stories, this pre-52 stuff?
I have some questions as well.
Oh, do you now?
I do.
Okay. Well, for those out there in comic land who might want to know a little bit more, there are a lot of trade paperbacks which collect stories that are relevant to storylines and characters that have been brought up in the Convergence. Now, I've said this before, but just to show you a few things for you, the new reader, because this is someone's first episode. Here, hold that up for me, would you, Kev? Brad Meltzer's Identity Crisis. Brad Meltzer?
Meltzer.
Did I mispronounce that? I'm so sorry.
It's easy to do. And you know what, Brad? Troy always says, watchers and listeners, Troy always tells me, "Oh, that guy's gonna punch you in the face." Brad Meltzer is the nicest guy in comics, and he's one of these people where you email him and he will email you back and say something nice to you, just like he was your family. He's really wonderful.
Now, Identity Crisis is a story involving the Justice League of America. It is, in fact, a murder mystery, and that is what Mr. Meltzer is so very good at writing. And it involves not only the Justice League, but Dr. Light, Deathstroke the Terminator, and a great many other DC characters. It takes us into what happens when a loved one is killed, when heroes' identities are compromised, and it deals with a very dark and unpleasant secret that many members of the Justice League have been holding on to, and that secret has been brought to light. Dr. Light, pardon, is an instrumental character in all of this. I don't know if you remember Dr. Light from his appearances in the new Teen Titans when he was very much an ineffectual villain. This series kind of owns that and explains why Dr. Light was so ineffectual for so very long.
Oh, right. I forgot about that.
There is a wonderful sequence where Deathstroke the Terminator battles the Justice League. And yeah, he handles these guys. If you are a fan of Deathstroke the Terminator and you have not read this, this is the Deathstroke you've been champing at the bit to see. I'm not going to spoil the end. I'm not going to tell you how it ends. If you've already read it, you already know. Don't ruin the ride for someone else. But if you're new into the whole business with DC Comics, Identity Crisis is a book that you need to pick up.
So good.
It is extremely good. Artwork by Rags Morales cannot be touted enough. Rags Morales is an amazing artist. I look so forward to meeting that man one day. Now, another fantastic piece of work from DC Comics is Mark Waid and Alex Ross in Kingdom Come. Okay, now, Kingdom Come is an interesting sort of near-future generational story. We see characters like Superman and some second and third generation heroes, some reimagined characters. We are given a new incarnation of the Spectre. We are shown a very interesting take on the Shazam Superman battle sequence.
And it's all painted all the time by Alex Ross, one of the best cover artists that comics have ever seen.
Maybe you're a fan of Alex Ross's work from Kirby Genesis, from Dynamite, or maybe you're a fan of Alex Ross's work on covers from other books such as The Shadow, or maybe, like Kevin here, it was Marvels that brought you to the dance. A fantastic 5-issue series from Marvel Comics. Kurt Busiek, I believe, is the writer on that one. But
no, Mark Waid. Kurt Busiek, I believe, did the second one. The King.
Eye of the Camera?
No, the Kingdom Come.
No. I was talking about Marvels.
Oh, sorry, just kidding.
Not a problem. Mark Waid, though, yes. Mark Waid, Alex Ross, Kingdom Come. Superman, the character that is shown here in Kingdom Come, is seen again in the pages of Justice Society, JSA.
All right.
He was in that series for quite a bit. And so, I recommend...
gamers will recognize that Kingdom Come Superman was the figure to get back in 2003. I'm old. Never mind.
Yep. So, Kingdom Come. Add that to the list. Here's another one you should be checking out. JLA Earth 2, Grant Morrison, Frank Quitely. Now, if you read Forever Evil, you know a little bit about the Crime Syndicate, the evil Justice League from a parallel universe. What you probably don't know or didn't understand is that the Crime Syndicate's world, it's like morality turned upside down. How does an evil version of the Justice League thrive? Why aren't there heroes to take them down? There are heroes. Many of them are recognizable as an incarnation of villains on our own world. The Crime Syndicate comes to our Earth, battles the Justice League, but our Justice League spends some time on Earth 3, the Crime Syndicate's world, and they see just how upside down this world is, how upside down the rules of morality are there. And it's a very trippy Grant Morrison take on parallel Earths and mirror images. If you like Grant Morrison, and I have said these words dozens of times, so bear with me, if you liked Animal Man, if you liked the Doom Patrol, if you liked All-Star Superman, if you liked JLA, Grant Morrison, if you liked Multiversity, very, very recently Multiversity, Earth 2 is a series that you should definitely be checking out. And I have it here in trade paperback form. So there it is. There it is.
Worth getting. Oh, and by the way, the artist here, Frank Quitely.
Frank Quitely.
Not rather than quietly. Everybody always says quietly. It's a play on. It's his nom de plume. It's a play on. Quite frankly, it's Frank Quitely. So there you go.
So yes. And lastly, I want to throw this up here.
Oh my.
If you have not checked out DC Comics Final Crisis, it was a 7-issue limited series following 52, following Countdown, which becomes Countdown to Final Crisis. Here it is. Here it is. Written by Grant Morrison. This is the culmination of those two mega stories, not mega arcs, but mega stories. Final Crisis. It is quite literally the day that evil wins. It is Darkseid and the new gods of Apocalypse come to Earth, reincarnated in new forms, and basically taking over the world. This is the series in which we see the death of Batman. We see a lot of really scary things. Final Crisis was a fantastic series, and if you've not read it, I strenuously recommend it.
Troy, I strenuously recommend Identity Crisis, Kingdom Come, and JLA Earth 2. Here's the thing. I love Grant Morrison. I think he's fantastic. I think he's a great person. I think he's a great writer. I did not love Final Crisis. It makes me sad. It bothers me. If you are a New 52 lover, however, you need this, you want this, get it if you don't already.
Well, see, here's the beauty. Final Crisis is one of those stories that comes before the New 52.
But it leads you. I mean, that's, it gets you there.
It helps. It does take you along. It's not as integral as, say, Flashpoint.
Okay.
Flashpoint definitely is.
Yeah.
You know,
but the two of them together add up to New 52.
But it is. Go back and reread that. You know, take some time and just reread it.
I might.
And yeah. You know, and you know what? Reread some of the tie-ins as well. Requiem and Resist and the Rogue's Rebellion, or the Rogue's Revenge. I'm sorry, the Rogue's Revenge.
I didn't read all those the first time.
Oh,
I heard that some of them were good and some of them were terrible. I don't remember which.
Superman Beyond 3D, Legion of Three Worlds. The Legion of Three Worlds definitely must be read. That is very good.
I like Legion stories, so I would
love the
like
Legion
that.
of Superheroes. I absolutely do.
Yeah.
But those are my recommendations for your trade paperbacks to jump in, to pick stuff up, to get the complete story so you're not hunting down single issues. You know, maybe you could find 1, 2, and 3, but not number 4 and not number 5. Oh, darn, what do I do now? These things have been collected in trade paperback. So along with some of my earlier recommendations like Crisis on Infinite Earths and Crisis on Multiple Earths, the volume series, the 1 Million Omnibus, these 4 books should be in your reading library. And we're coming up on the summer, so these are your reading assignments.
There you are. There you are. There's your summer reading assignment. So, Troy, I have a question here. When it comes to Convergence itself, now, all right, these are you know, a great foundation for people to get into DC and understand the different universes that DC superheroes have occupied. But when it comes to Convergence itself, number 6 comes out tomorrow.
Yep.
When will we? How many issues is Convergence going to be? And
8 issues.
And when will that? Will the trade come out the same day as the 8th one?
Probably not. Trade paperbacks usually come out a couple of months after the final issue has been released, so that there is enough time to collect them up and solicit them among booksellers as well as comic shop or comic distributors, etc.
It seemed like there was some comic that did that. Was it like? It was like Fables or Ex Machina or something like that.
Well, that's the exception to the rule.
Right. Okay. Anyway, well, that's good. That's good information. So, hey, tomorrow, Wednesday, May 13th, Convergence number 6 comes out, and Troy's about to tell you all about that.
Now, Convergence, Kevin, if you would, please.
Oh, and here's our top 5, folks.
Yeah.
You know what, last week, did you realize you only did top 4?
Probably.
Yeah.
Last week. Okay, so Convergence. For those who don't know, the Convergence main title takes us through the DC multiverse. It picks up storylines that are left over from Future's End and Earth 2 World's End, and it takes us through the bottled cities from the various dimensional aspects of the multiverse. These are stories that are, that's Donna Troy fighting one of the extremists with Gar Logan. Convergence has given us back Wally West. It has given us back the classic lineup of the New Teen Titans. It has given us back the older, somewhat more jaded Oliver Queen. It has brought us back to Parallax. It has brought us back to the Superman-Lois Lane marriage. It has brought us back to an earlier point in time in the Justice League and the Justice League International and the Justice Society. It has shown us Oracle in the wheelchair and a younger version, an earlier and younger version of Nightwing. It has taken us through various aspects of DC's multiverse.
Does the Nightwing have
time? Yes?
Does the Nightwing have those crazy 80s shoulder pads?
He does not.
Okay. All right, well, that's good. This looks...
you do?
This looks good. I don't have any shoulder pads. That's just my muscles. Not really. But this looks good. Okay, so, Troy...
Yes?
I said that I have questions about Convergence.
Yep.
I was speaking with Comics Online's managing editor, Matt Cernacker, who told me today that he was displeased with Convergence because of... he said a few things. The one that sticks in my mind was that they had a chance for Batman to meet Thomas Wayne, and they blew it and they threw it away, when that could have been a fantastic item.
Well, certainly it hasn't happened yet, but the series isn't over yet either. We are, in fact, up to issue number 6. There are 2 more issues to go, and I've not read number 6 yet to know fully what goes on the pages within.
Okay.
So, it's not over yet. That could still happen. There is, however, a lot going on. I don't know if you've been keeping up with the Convergence tie-ins like Harley Quinn and New Titans, Justice League, Supergirl and Matrix, Superboy and the Legion of Superheroes, etc. But there is a lot going on, and for a reader like me, a long-timer, it's a wonderful trip back to some earlier continuity that had been pushed aside.
So practically everything is tying in. So your next one is Convergence Green Arrow. So forgive me.
No. Jump right in there.
While we go into Convergence Green Arrow, this is number 2. So tell me how these tie-ins work and the numbering and such. And now Green Arrow was going on for a while, and now we've got Convergence Green Arrow number 2. The existing title is it on pause?
Yes.
Will we bring up the...
The existing titles are on pause. They will begin again in June.
With new numbering or old numbering?
No, with the ongoing series will continue. So Batman will be number 41, Justice League will be 41, Superman will be 41, Flash will be 41, etc., etc.
That is kind of convenient how the numbers line up like that.
There will be new books. I don't know if you were aware of this, but there will be new titles like Starfire. She will be beginning with the number 1.
Holding out for Starman.
There will be a Red Hood in issue number 1 of that. There will be a new Omega Men. I am definitely keen on the Omega Men. I have not seen anything for Starman yet, so I'm terribly sorry.
Take a breath, Troy. James Robinson. I'm saying James Robinson, come back and write me more Starman. That's all I want in life. Well, a little more than that, but I would love it.
Yeah, well, it's too late. You've said it. That's all you're going to get.
If that's where I've got to die, then it would be entertaining at the very least.
So, while the Convergence main series is a weekly book, and as I said, it will be 8 issues, there have been 2-issue limited series that tie in. Now, you don't need to read every single one to understand what's going on. In fact, that is not the case. I have read them all. You could read them all, but you don't have to. Now, Kevin is holding up the 2nd issue. Which one did you pick up there, Kev?
Justice League.
Oh, yes, Justice League.
Now, here's my question.
This is Justice League International.
Oh, sorry, this is Justice League International. Now, when it comes to these, now you've only read the first issue of these so far.
Of most of them.
Of most of them. Which ones have been your very favorites?
Okay, the Harley Quinn 2-issue series, and I just read the 2nd issue over the course of the weekend, brought Harley into combat with Captain Carrot of Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew. It was fantastic. The Flash, I'm sorry, not the Flash, Speed Force. Wally West as the Flash and his 2 children, Jai and Iris, who are both connected to Wally through the Speed Force. They've also been brought back. And Fastback, also of Captain Carrot and the Zoo Crew. He was there. In Supergirl Matrix, which is in my pile, they brought back one of Keith Giffen's favorite characters, Ambush Bug. Yeah. Now, I'll admit, Ambush Bug was not necessarily my favorite Superman bad guy. I used to cringe a little when I would see him, but Keith Giffen did a wonderful humor series in the 1980s, and he followed it up with the son of Ambush Bug, and there was an Ambush Bug summer special as well. So, in time, the character grew on me.
Nice art. Timothy Green II and Joseph Silver.
Yeah, and of course, Keith Giffen writing it, because who else could write an Ambush Bug story? Look at Kevin here.
I'm trying to get one that doesn't have. Ads next to it.
Oh, kapow!
Ooh, freaky. OMAC. What's an OMAC with you? That doesn't actually work, but it's funny anyway.
Yeah. Well, half the things that Kevin says are funny.
Thank you.
You're quite welcome. The other half of the things that Kevin says are unintelligible. See. So. And then, along with Supergirl and Matrix, go ahead and throw that one up there. This is Suicide Squad, issue number 2. Now, this will be an incarnation of the Suicide Squad, more like the pre-52 incarnation, but with characters that you might not have thought, in conjunction with the Suicide Squad in times past. Of course, the Suicide Squad is a morphable team, very dynamic, because there are criminals that will die, and they will be replaced with other criminals. But, we have seen Deadshot, Bane, and a host of others.
Who are these mandrakes that are doing this art, and who do they remind me of?
Tom Mandrake?
Yeah.
Artist Tom Mandrake. I think you're probably thinking of John Bogdanov, because I think you mentioned once before how it reminded you of Steel.
That might be the case. I wasn't going there, but I see that. I see that.
There is actually a Convergence Superman the Man of Steel, which does focus on John Henry Irons, as well as a Superman series, and several others. So a little bit more time to go on this. Get into Convergence, which will lead you to the next upcoming series, which will be Divergence. And with the Divergence, there will be more DC titles. There will be some new #1s coming out. Your ongoing regulars will pick back up again, and the DC universe will be an exciting place to be.
Will it become the DC multiverse again?
I believe that we are going to keep the multiversal aspects. Now, how far into the multiverse we're going to go remains to be seen. So far, some of these things look like they are unconnected from what we would call Earth 1 continuity, but I've only seen the little 4-page teasers for things like Section 8. I've not been able to read deeply enough into it to see how strongly it may tie to any one ongoing continuity or another.
All right. So, what do we got over there? Are those +1s, or?
Yeah. I'm showing. I'm actually got 2 +1s here. They're both really, really good. I'm just going to talk about them for just a second. First off is Mortal Kombat X. Fans of the video game franchise, Mortal Kombat. Very well written, very well drawn, focused on characters that are favorites: Raiden, Scorpion, Sub-Zero, Sonya Blade, Jax, Johnny Cage. Yeah, and new characters introduced as well. If you have not been picking up the Mortal Kombat series...
And this is number 6.
Yes, but if you are a fan, in fact, of the video games, then I would recommend picking this up. The comic alone has me very excited to play the game once I upgrade to a platform worthy of the game itself. I don't want to have to buy everything twice, so I'm going to wait to get a lot of new games. The second thing that I've got to show you is written by Todd McFarlane. You may remember Todd McFarlane from Infinity Incorporated, or Invasion, or The Incredible Hulk, or The Amazing Spider-Man, or Spider-Man, or Spawn. You might have bought some of his toys, statues, action figures, sports collectibles, etc. But Todd McFarlane is writing this book, Savior. This is the second issue of the book. The first issue, we were introduced to a character who miraculously survives a plane crash, but then is shot, possibly assassinated. We don't know if he's alive or dead yet, because I haven't gotten into the second issue. But
I think I have the answer.
Clayton Crane was the artist, and the art is beautiful. The art in the first issue just absolutely blew me away.
No spoilers here. I've just got a plane wreck.
Thank you very much. And Todd McFarlane, knocking it out. He hasn't written anything for a little while, but apparently he is quite good at what he does. So if you hadn't checked it out, I would recommend getting it. The #1 issue sold out of here twice, so hunt that down. Or if you're going to wait for the trades, wait for the trades, but you're going to be waiting a little while. We're only up to the second issue. So those are my picks and pluses and recommendations. Man, I got a lot of good stuff there. Kev, what do you got?
I got a few things. Now, to starting out quick here, Troy, we've got Thor. You know, a lot of fans of this series and of this character have been, well, dare I say it, rather Thor about the mystery behind who is this new female Thor. Well, this issue we finally find out, and those people who allow themselves to be spoiled on the internets, the social media sites, already know who it is. And you know what? It makes sense. Because why else would she be wearing a mask? Otherwise, we'd have known who it was all along. It wouldn't have been a big deal if it was Brunhilde. It wouldn't have been a big deal if it was Freya. But now we know who it is, and I'm not going to spoil it for you if you haven't given in to your base instincts and checking it out online. But
I have stayed off the interwebs expressly to not be spoiled.
It makes sense. I've been behind on Thor. Honestly, I was kind of waiting for this. I didn't realize it would be 8 issues of this, but here we are, and we finally have that revelation, and I'm kind of interested to catch up now.
Yeah, I've been telling people all along, you've had confidence in Jason Aaron, the writer. Maybe you loved him on Southern Bastards, or maybe you've loved him on Men of Wrath. Maybe you've loved any of his earlier work, but it's Jason Aaron. So have some confidence in him as writer and enjoy the story as it unfolds.
So before we were talking about with your Grant Morrison, and then we're talking about what else? The other JLA thing we were talking about. Who was it? Help me out here. Brad Meltzer. Bald white guys is all you have to be. Just ask Brian Michael Bendis. All you have to be, as long as you're a bald white guy, you can be a comic book writer. I'm pretty sure that's all you have to be. And proving it once again, Brian K. Vaughan. You might know Brian K. Vaughan, of course, from Why the Last Man. You might know Brian K. Vaughan because you were a fan of the TV show Lost, because he was one of the writers on Lost. Didn't start out from the beginning. I believe it was season 2. Don't hate. He was fixing things. But now we have Saga, and if you have not begun with Saga, Troy can help you out with the trades. The originals, first printings of the individual issues are very pricey these days because, frankly, Image wasn't printing metric ton of them because, well, even though we had an established writer, Brian K. Vaughan, it was an indie book. Well, it has since taken off, and some of my favorite, going to conventions, some of my favorite cosplayers have been Saga cosplayers.
Yeah. So Saga has been burning up the awards over the last few years.
So many.
The Harvey Awards, as well as the Eisner Awards.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
I think they must have amassed 20 awards apiece. Altogether.
They just can't stop winning awards.
Yeah, I mean, it's just that good. Yeah. So you definitely want to jump on. If you've not followed, we're up to issue number 28 here, and again, they've done the trade collections. They're up to 4 volumes. Volume 5 shouldn't be very far away.
Right.
So yeah, definitely, that's a good one. Where are we at next?
Well, keeping it in the same theme, bald white guys. Our cuddly pal, Cullen Bunn, has got a brand new number 1 for you. This time, it's not at Image, it's not at Oni, it's not at Marvel. We're at Dark Horse this time with Harrow County number 1. And this new artist that he's paired with, new to me anyway, as far as I recall, is interesting. Show him some of this painted art. It's beautiful, kind of watercolory and mashed around. I'm liking the expressions, and obviously this is a horror type title. I have kept myself from being spoiled on this one. I have great high hopes for this one. So Cullen Bunn fans,
you want to check out Harrow County?
Yeah. Is that a real county somewhere? I don't know. All right. So, we're back. We fixed things. Things are fixed.
I didn't know they were broken.
Nah, they weren't really broken. Hey, guess what comes out this week?
What comes out this week, Kevin?
Secret Wars 3, number 2. Troy's looking at you like, what?
This is really not Secret Wars 3.
Secret Wars Volume 3?
No.
Secret Wars Volume 2, number 3?
See, Kevin.
Number 2?
What you're referring to as Volume 1 was actually known as the Marvel Superhero Secret Wars.
Oh.
Secret Wars 2 is probably Secret Wars 1, technically. Then there was Secret War singular.
Which had nothing to do with any of this.
Nope, but it was still quite good.
Fans of Thor. Thor, what was it called? The subtitle to that Thor series with Esad Ribic?
God of Thunder.
Thor, God of Thunder. Will be thrilled to check this out. And by the way, this is not for children, not because it is particularly violent. It's, no more violent or less violent than any rated T for teen comic book. It's not like there's dirty language or anything like that. But what it does have are... It's hard to read. I was in a cacophonous environment. I was back in the game store where people were talking multiple games at once, and people were trying to talk to me, and I was trying to stay out of everybody's way. Oh, by the way, I've already read this, and it's fantastic. Oh, my goodness.
But what Kevin is trying to say is that Secret Wars is written to a higher reading level.
It's for grown-ups.
Yeah, so it might be challenging for a younger reader. It will certainly be confusing if that younger reader hasn't been following along with Jonathan Hickman's Avengers and New Avengers stories.
Not necessarily, though. I having read this, you could start, and obviously you've got plenty of Secret Wars #1, which has that beautiful cover. But you could really even start with Secret Wars #2 and not have missed too much. Now, you might not know why things are there,
right.
But with this particular issue, with this particular story, it's only at the very end that anybody from the previous issue even shows up.
Well, there's a lot going on. Certainly, there are a lot of subplots to have to cover with Secret Wars. So
it's amazing. I'm so loving it, and we're going to spoil some of it next week. But being as though it doesn't come out until tomorrow, I'm not going to ruin it for you. But you're going to like it. It's exciting.
Fans of the Top 5 Flashback Comics, ComicsOnline.com podcast, I will use the cattle prod to keep Kevin from spoiling if necessary.
After at least a couple of weeks, I'm going to start talking about it because it's fantastic.
It is fantastic.
And amazing.
It really
is. And it's not secret.
No.
It's not at all secret.
But you should be picking it. Now, I'll tell you something else that's not a secret, and you should be getting Secret Wars. It's no secret that this is one of Kevin's top 5 picks this week.
Oh, not at all. That's no secret. And it's got a beautiful cover. Oh, by the way, guess what else comes out this week? Hello. The Walking Dead #141, I think. I'm not looking at the cover. 141, yes, indeed. And fans of the comic will remember, as you see on the cover, hey, look who has had his cell left open. Are you spoiling things there?
No.
Okay. Well, Rick comes back to find the aftermath of what has happened when this gentleman, shall we say, that's a complete lie. He's not a gentleman at all. has had his cell left open, and I already read this too because I was waiting on Troy doing his other recording
this
stuff.
Guy,
it's so good. I love Walking Dead.
He just can't wait for New Comic Wednesday. He's got to be all up in this stuff early.
It's so good. All right, so you'll enjoy that. Fans of the show, fans of the comic, keep on with it. I know. Like I said, I was talking with Matt earlier, and he was like, Walking Dead, isn't it getting slow? Come on, I wish it would speed up. No, it's telling you, we're getting the feel of civilization, where things are a little bit more day-to-day, where things are not quite as exciting and stabby as they have been in the past.
Or shooty.
Or shooty.
Or smashy.
All of those things.
All of those things. But yes, so Walking Dead 141 from Image Comics there. That was, that was actually kind of surprising there, Kevin. I saw Harrow County, I saw Saga, and I saw The Walking Dead. 3 indies in your pile.
That's good, right?
One Dark Horse and 2 Images.
I've got a +1.
And here, ladies and gentlemen, is Kevin's +1. It would have been mine, but I thought I'd let Kevin have this one.
All right. Hey, guess what? It's nighttime, and it's time for... You're showing the back of it.
I know.
Why are you showing the back of it? Night Nurse. Yeah. Night Nurse spinning out of Daredevil. Not really spinning out of Daredevil. But Night Nurse was a character back in the... What, did it start in the 60s or 70s?
70s.
And, she was in a lot of comics, including Daredevil, as a supporting character. Even had her own comic for a bit. And, you would see her... as a, being the nurse for a while, and this is not an original comic. I need for everyone to understand that this is really a trade paperback disguised as a comic. Don't be fooled into thinking this is some original content. This is a best of Night Nurse, and you know, those of you who are fans of who played Night Nurse and Daredevil, quick quiz.
Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah, yeah. You liked Clerks too, didn't you? Of course you did. And Men in Black 2. Rosario Dawson, she's good with a sequel. Yeah. Anyway, Night Nurse. As you can see on the cover there, we have circumstantially, not at all circumstantially, the 4 characters that make up the Netflix originals that are to come. We've got Daredevil and Power Man and Iron Fist and
Jessica Jones.
Jessica Jones.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, a return to the 1970s there. Night Nurse was one of those characters, much like Shanna the She-Devil, much like Patsy Walker, Greer Nelson, who became the Cat. Patsy Walker would later be repurposed as Hellcat in the pages of the Avengers. But yeah, man. Back in the 20-cent days, the Bronze Age of comics, Marvel was trying, they were experimenting with a lot of different things, horror comics, war comics, humor titles, spoofs and parodies and satires, and comics that starred female characters. And Night Nurse, unfortunately, didn't live very long. I think she only ran 5 issues, but they gave it a try, and the character has endured from then to now.
And you've also got a reprint here of Daredevil number 80 with Brian Michael Bendis.
Brian Michael Bendis, art by Alex Maleev.
Bald white guy. Scott, you've got a chance. New podcast coming to ComicsOnline.com soon. Scotty Doesn't Know, and a couple others as well.
Yeah, Scotty don't know.
No, we don't. I think that's our part 1 for this week. What do you think, Troy?
I think that's our part 1. Let's go get some dinner.
All right. Part 2, we're going to have fun with, it's going to be Megan's birthday here in a few hours.
So Kevin's buying dinner for everyone.
That is a complete lie, but we're going to have a good time and talk about everything geek pop culture.
Why must you make me a liar?
You make yourself.
Why must you turn my podcast into a house of lies?
Wait, you're the one making the lies. It's him. It's this guy.
We'll see you soon, folks.
See you next time.
From leaking tall buildings to going off like gamma bombs. Switch your internet browser to ComicsOnline.com.